Oh, it's Lee Woodward. Yes. So actually, this is another taboo subject, really. In the UK, it is anyway, because we're going to be talking about fees and increasing fees. That question, and we had Richard Rawlings came to our roadshows last year and gave us a really brilliant session on an hour of how to increase your fees. We're actually going to be hearing live from a couple of guys, along with Lee Woodward, who's going to be hosting. It is Gavin Human and Brendan May. Please welcome them to the stage. Thank you.
Okay, wasn't that an amazing session from Ben? And connected to yesterday's story about, questions get answers, statements get judged, doing discovery first so that you can have that understanding moment. And it's interesting, there was a lady I was speaking to over in Australia who left a big company that I did work for. And she wasn't going to move because of loyalty. And I said, what made you move? You got to do the right thing by your family. It was a really interesting closing comment of appreciate all that, but you've got to do the right thing by your family, and you didn't come this far to stop. And I think that's a moment when people think, am I just stopping? I didn't come this far to stop. What could you do next? But I thought that was an amazing session. And we've got our two wonderful people about to come on the panel. And with our panel, I've been thinking about this all day, and just before I came on, I said to Adam, I just want to show a quick clip on something that will set the scene for this, because I'm fascinated about the fee structure in this country. Fascinated. Absolutely fascinated. And what I'm going to do, we'll take the lights down, and I have this question for all of you. Do you see you the way others see you? Do you see you the way others see you? We'll go to the clip. And here we go.
I'm a forensic artist. Worked for the San Jose Police Department from 1995 to 2011.
I showed up to a place I'd never been, and there was a guy with a drafting board.
We couldn't see them, they couldn't see us.
Tell me about your hair.
I didn't know what he was doing, but then I could tell after several questions that he was drawing me.
Tell me about your chin.
It kind of protrudes a little bit, especially when I smile.
Your jaw?
My mom told me I had a big jaw.
What would be your most prominent feature?
Kind of have a fat, rounder face.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
I would say I have a pretty big forehead.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then they leave. I don't see them.
All I had been told before the sketch was to get friendly with this other woman, Chloe.
Today I'm gonna ask you some questions about a person you met earlier, and I'm gonna ask you some general questions about their face.
She was thin, so you could see her cheekbones. And her chin, it was a nice, thin chin.
She had nice eyes. They lit up when she spoke.
Cute nose.
She had blue eyes, very nice blue eyes.
So here we are. This is the sketch that you helped me create, and that's a sketch that somebody described of you.
So yeah, that's...
She looks closed off and fatter. Sadder, too. The second one looks more open, friendly, and happy.
I should be more grateful of my natural beauty. It impacts the choices and the friends that we make, the jobs we apply for, how we treat our children. It impacts everything. It couldn't be more critical to your happiness.
Do you think you're more beautiful than you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
We spend a lot of time as women analyzing and trying to fix the things that aren't quite right. And we should spend more time appreciating the things that we do like.
Okay. So charge the correct bloody fees. You're not the one on the left, okay? Okay, let's get started. We're going to have the big fee debate, and we're going to discuss it in an open way. I'm going to start with you. What fee do you charge, and why do you charge it? Brendan.
I charge 2.5% plus VAT and a upfront marketing investment of anything from typically $8.40 up to $16.80, which is effectively a commitment fee for the marketing upfront.
That was pretty simple. I love the commitment fee, and I picked this up last night. We were at dinner, and we're saying about it, all these properties fall over, and it takes 3 weeks to get a survey, and you need this and you need that. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. You want to go on the market? Let's do it properly. You want some insurance that you don't get ripped off, and we protect the asset? We're going to buy the survey. We're going to get the building report. We're going to get the pest report, and we're going to have total control. Because when you give a report, it's very different to obtaining a report. On the girl's mum's place, we got a strata report, and the lawyer said, you don't need to do that. The buyer can do that. But why should 26 people have to get the same report? The strata report was shocking. And we go, there's a strata report. They go, it's shocking. I know. You want to buy it? Yep. When they get the report, it's shocking. So those reports are part of the marketing system. And don't become a sales prevention officer. Do you know what that is? Preventing people buying property. I want to buy it, but you've got to get a survey. You've got to get a report. You are preventing the sale. Don't be a sales prevention officer. What's the competition?
The agents in my area.
I like that. The others.
The others.
Yep.
The others. The average fee is anything from 1 to 1.2% in my area, and they all either, if there's professional marketing involved, they front that cost. 50% of the time, it's stuffed on a mobile and it looks okay-ish. Depends on what your target is, but that's what people charge in the area.
Take us into the conversation, the listing conversation. When does this come up? How do you get to the fee side of it? What do you do?
I'd like to try and treat my appraisals, valuations, whatever you want to call them, as more of a consultation. It's a process. There's a structure to it. So it will be a case that once we've had the tour, give me the grand tour, and I've asked all the questions about the type of heating there is or any tech spec. Then I will say, okay, so before we get into anything else, let's go over the numbers. So this is my fee. It's 2.5% plus VAT. And when it comes to selling, there's obviously other costs involved as well. Things like legal costs, etc. This is what this costs, this is what this costs, this is what this costs. I just keep on reeling off all the costs involved. And then once we've discussed all of the costs involved, I then say, okay, have you got any questions on that? Generally no, because there's a lot of stuff I'm talking about. So they've almost forgotten about the 2.5% anyway by that point.
You're doing like a fees 1, 2, 3.
Basically,
it's
yeah.
in the sequence.
Yeah. And then at that stage, it's okay. Do you mind if I give you some advice on how we need to actually best present the home? You know, any suggestions I can make with what we can do better? And then we'll go for another walk around, and I'll suggest, right, this could be there, this could be there, this could be there. Otherwise, don't take my word for it. Speak to Lemon and Lime or whoever it is to get a professional designer's viewpoint on what's what. And then there's going to be costs involved in that too. So this is the cost of the marketing, et cetera, et cetera. So I go head on. I don't like them to have to ask. I'm very proud of the fact that I know that I am the highest charging agent in my area, but I actually believe wholeheartedly that I am the best value agent because I know that I get the best results.
That's front foot, isn't it? Now, Gav on the other side is a little bit different to that.
This is what I love about EXP is that everybody's different and there's no golden ticket to it. And when I joined EXP, I'd previously been working for Fine & Country. I charged 2%, that's it, don't negotiate. And I had a bit of an issue with my previous company, jumped on board with EXP after a number of phone calls with Scott and jumped into it straight away, doing all right. And then I had one of my friends just say to me, how can you charge 2% when you're not with Fine & Country? And I'd also had a lot of the team at EXP saying, Gavin, you can't do that, and your logo's wrong. And to be honest, I actually took a step back from EXP for a couple of months because I thought I need to reset everything because I am worth 2% and I needed to make sure that being a valuer, lister, viewing assistant, marketing manager, I'm all rolled into one, and I had to put that across properly to people. So I took a couple of months back to reset everything, to make sure I got everything right. And when I sit in front of somebody and we talk about fees and it's 2%, that's what I charge. And I don't, at a valuation stage, I don't mention my fee at all. I don't even put it in my marketing reports because I'm charging 2%. And what I normally find, it's often a day or a couple of days later, they'll ring me. And it's quite often the partner, because I tend to only see one person when I'm on the valuation. And it's quite often the partner that will ring me and say, oh, thanks for coming round, you did a great job, like what you've said, but my partner didn't write down what you charge. And that's when I say it's 2%. And they say, oh, God, you're expensive. I said, yeah, I am. And it sounds really arrogant, but I know what I'm worth and I know what I can bring to the party. But like I said, I don't talk about fees. So that's why when you were saying yesterday about being upfront, I thought, well, we're totally different to that.
There's no right or wrong. But it's amazing when you have a set fee, how you'll stand your ground on fee. And I'll just throw something into the room as a concept for you. If you said to me, how much are these bottles? And I said, they're $80. Could you do it better than that? Yeah, you can have it for 60. You didn't get a discount. I've just disclosed I was prepared to rip you off. Do you understand? That was not the truth at all. The truth's this. So I lied to you, and then I told you the truth. In real estate, people think that's a discount. That is not a discount. And you can say to a consumer, what was their original fee? Oh, they were 3%. And what did they do it for? 1.5. Why did they lie to you first up? If it was that. And why would you start a relationship where it started with a lie? It doesn't add up. Brendan, back to you. When someone says, I'll be the consumer. Brendan, that's way more than we've been offered from others. We've been offered 1%. They're going to mow the lawn. Why would we pay you that?
It happens all the time, to be fair. Why? Well, the reality is, yes, I know there's going to be cheaper options out there for you. And it's not all down to the marketing because let's be real. I'm not charging you my 2.5% because you're getting professional photos and videos because you're paying more for that too, right? So you're not getting anything more from a physical point of view. But what you are getting is someone that is absolutely hell-bent and believes wholeheartedly that they are the best negotiator in the room. So if you go with agent X for 1% and they're going to mow your lawn, great, you saved yourself 100 quid with that there, well done. Then the average sale price of asking price in the area is around about 94, 95% of asking price, right? So for me, I know my average sold price off ask is 100.7%. So there's already a 5% disparity there. So me charging you an extra 1.5%, you're still winning. That's what you're paying for. It's actually getting someone that's going to be able to go to war for you to make sure you get the best result.
Very good. Hey, Gav.
Yeah,
I've been offered far better rates than this, and there's no way I'm paying you 2%. You can go now.
Yeah, you can. Bye. I think it is being that arrogant because, like you've said your price, stick to it. And I know, having sort of stepped away for a couple of months to analyse, there's 73 estate agents in Cambridge, and they all charge from 0.75 up to generally about 1.5%. So I had to analyse what they were all doing. And I know I can sit in front of somebody. I am the only member in Cambridge of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm the only member of the FSB, the Federation of Small Businesses. I belong to Lonres. I've got a number of things. I can say nobody else does that. That's what I do. And there is more chance of not only achieving the highest price, but most importantly, finding the best buyer. And I think it's really important with social media, not just putting one post on Instagram a day or one on Twitter a day. It's saying, right, this is what I do. And actually being able to demonstrate that without actually telling them. Because I think a lot of people invite you through the door having seen what you already do, so they're half expecting you to be different. But I think you've got to be able to put it across when we talk about being bespoke and personal. Let's demonstrate that without using those words.
I think that if I could interject there, I think that's really, really important and really powerful. There is so much power and strength in being prepared to walk away. You saying, yeah, you can go elsewhere. Fine, go. That's great. They want you more, first off, because you're prepared to walk. But also, I think with what you said about finding the right buyer, I mean, shit, like, I actually don't believe that if you sell a house off market, you've actually done the best job for your client. I don't believe that. I don't think you've done all that can be done to find the right buyer. And that's really, really important too. A lot of agents shout about selling it off market, and don't get me wrong, there is a skill to that. I appreciate that still, but I don't believe you've done all you can to find the best buyer and the best price. And I think that's really important what you said there.
Yeah, this is really interesting. From my perspective, the term off market is the wrong term. Off portal is a different term. So in Australia, Off Market Properties Australia started, which is the off-agent portal. And they do a crap marketing pack. They don't care if it sells or not. It doesn't matter to them. They've already sold the marketing pack. But the more we all push this term off-market, we are creating our own challenge. Because sold by agent sounds different than sold off-market. Sold by agent. And what's coming out of this conversation is so important. But just a coachable moment. Whenever an owner says to you, hey, the other agent's offered me 1.5, pause, let silence do the heavy lifting, and you say this: is there any reason you didn't appoint them? And they'll tell you the truth. But that's not an objection, that's a question. And I think we think everything's an objection. It could just be a question. Quick story for you. There's a lady called Amber Worshen, who's one of our most famous female agents in Australia. At 23 years of age, 28 sales a month. The Real Estate Hot Topics program selected her to be on the show. And John McGrath rings me up and goes, now, when you're there, when you do the recording, make sure you take her on the fee debate routine. I went, yep, all good, John. I'm going in. I'm at the airport. He's texting me. I'm like, calm down. Anyway, I get there, and there's Amber, and stunning lady. And we've done the whole interview. And I'm doing the interview, and she's very quiet. Like, I'd ask her a question, she'd go, no, I don't do that. I was like, don't expand then, will you? And it was very hard. And when you can't read someone in an interview, you say, always ask this question, you say, oh, what did your mum and dad do? And whatever someone's mum and dad did, it's in all of us, if that makes sense. Anyway, I get right to the end. It's the big fee debate. I've got to ask the big question. So, Amber, the other agents offered me 1% plus marketing. You're 3%. Would you match it? And she went, no. Do you have any other questions? I went, no. And it was the most, and I get back and John goes, how'd you go? It's pretty good. You'll hear it in the audio. What goes through your mind to pull that all together? Because you know the fee's going to be an issue, but is it an issue for you mentally, or is it just every day it's the same thing?
No, it's not an issue. It just is. It is what it is. And I think to be able to command those fees and dictate that, everything starts from before you've even spoken to that person. So like you touched on, they see what you've done before you've even spoken to them, right? That's really important. But on the appraisal, I think if you are prepared to lift the lid on what you do behind the scenes, there's huge power in that. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you find your next place. You want to find somewhere? Okay, let's pull out home search. What street do you want to live on? Okay, great. Let's do that. I'll hone in on there. And I'll show them examples of where that's worked. I'll show them examples of the savings that my clients have made on the onward negotiations and the buyer representatives, that sort of thing. So I think if you are prepared to show everyone from the start everything that you do, and break it down into layman's terms, not estate agent speak, just be a person, because people don't understand estate agents. When a solicitor talks to me, I don't understand what they're saying half the time. I don't want to. They don't relate, right? So I think it's just really simple. Just show people what you're going to do, show the evidence of what that brings, and it is what it is.
Very powerful.
Yeah, I think when I did my reset, and I was very lucky, I had a friend in Cambridge. She allowed me to organise 7 valuations at her house. And although I'd been an agent for 30 years, you think you know it all, but every day is a learning day. And so she had 7 agents round, and it was a real eye-opener when she came back with feedback. 7 letters, 3 of them were identical, all used home search, all as their clue. They hadn't even amended the template. I then went and stayed with friends in Chester, and I did the same thing at their house because I wanted to see what those agents were saying to me. And I learned a lot, and I think I now don't do pre-valuation letters or send any gumph to them in the post. I just, as soon as I have a phone call or anything on social media, I'll do them a quick video message. Hi, thanks for contacting me. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. After I've done the valuation in the evening, I'll do a post-valuation video message to them just saying, thanks for seeing you today. Been thinking about it in the car. Maybe we could tweak the price or whatever. And then I follow it up with a marketing report. But again, no mention of the fee. So I think that journey starts even before they've called us out.
This is so important. I'm glad to see you using video-based communication.
Works amazing, really does. And I think you've got to just forget about being scared of putting yourself in front of your phone. Literally, I just sit in the car. Hi, thanks for ringing me. Bing, bang, bosh, and send it.
It's real. You're relatable, right?
Yeah. And just on that, text, swipe, video. Hi, Helen. Really enjoyed coming through the property. I don't think you'll find an agent that's going to work harder than us, and we look forward to representing you. Look forward to your decision. Send. And that grit video, I want to help you. People connect to that. Video-based messaging is so powerful, especially with offers. The lady that came through yesterday loved the property. It was the best presented she'd seen, but the other homes had larger volume, and she's now withdrawn interest and won't be proceeding. Bang. And they can only watch it. They can't talk back. But the fact you're using video-based there, you know, winning business is about chip and chase. That's it. Just chip, chase, chip, chase. And video chip chase is they go, oh, stuff it, give it to him. He really wants it.
The other thing that I think is good, if you send you a quick WhatsApp message to them, and if you then just say, in the message, I usually just put hello in text, and then I put my web address underneath. So obviously there's a link directly to your web address. So most likely, more chance of watching the video and then clicking through to your website to see what you're doing behind the scenes. So I think that's quite important. With all my clients, when I go out on evaluation, when they get all my social media will have my ugly mug on with a picture of my for sale board, so it's all relatable. If the house comes on the market, I will then again set up a WhatsApp group with them, and that will have a picture of the house if it comes on the market with me. All the other communication will have just my face and the board on it. So I think it's that drip, drip, drip all the time.
Love it. That's where you're shooting out a link. Hi, Helen, just sold this one. Click on the link, let me know what you think. Hi, Helen, just sold this one. Click on the link, let me know what you think. The people that bought this would buy yours. And that chip and chase is massive. Brendan, you mentioned an important point, I call it fishing upstream, that the listing starts when you first meet the person. Like when someone calls in, that is the hardest lead in the world. I used to get those. I've been in the office and they go, oh, Lee, it's your turn. Line 5 wants to sell their house. I go, oh, give it to Adam. It's like throwing hot chips to a seagull. And the guys would go, how can you pass them up? I said, I'll tell you why. I walk in, it's a fashion parade. Did I get it? No, thank you. Yet, if I've been showing them houses for 6 months or helping them out, giving them reports, it's fishing upstream that it's a natural decision to go with you. How do you keep that love alive in the relationship of, okay, they're 12 months out from doing anything. What's those moments for you?
I think it varies on who the client is or prospective client is. I do a lot of knocking on doors. I say a lot. It's not a lot in relative terms. But if I've been out to see somebody, giving them an appraisal, and I'm driving past it, I'll drop them a quick message and just say, oh, drove past your house today. Looks amazing what you've done with the front garden. That's it. Literally, no, I don't ask for anything. I don't give it. I literally just a compliment. If I'm passing somewhere, if I'm in the local sort of coffee shop, which is where I tend to spend most of my time, I leave all of my important phone calls when I'm in the public around my target demographic. So if I'm negotiating or if I'm doing whatever, even complex calls where you're actually dealing with problems, that's actually a great thing. Deal with problems in front of the public because they can see what you do. But I purposely position myself in amongst where I know my clients are. So it's lots of passive stuff, really, that people don't realize it's actually happening. It's quite subliminal. But I just like to be around people. And I know that, a lot of the clients that I work with, I'm quite selective with who I work with. And I make that very clear. I only have 6 available properties at any given point, so that it gives me a chance to be able to do all the things I say I'm going to do. And for me also, on a selfish point, to still have the life that I want to have. So I think when I tell people that, and I can say, I have 4 live right now. I have a wait list from August, but that means I've got a space for 2 more. But you have to tick this, 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 and this for us to be on the same page. So I don't do it with everyone because I don't want every bit of business. I want to find my people, and my people will be my people, and they get me, and that's fine. So like I say, from a drip-fed, how do I keep in people's faces, going back to it, it is more of a, like I say, a subliminal thing. I just want to be around them so they see me. That's it, really.
What a peak moment of your career that you get to work on the houses and the people you like versus the shootouts. And just for everyone in the room, if you do a low fee and you sell it, you know the worst thing that happens to you next? They refer you to the next piece of pond scum who wants the same crappy deal. I want that deal. I want the dirty deal. Gav, do you ever do an incentive fee?
No. There's a couple of builders where I've used them 8-9 years. I'll do 1.5% for them, but that's it. I did a fee the other day for 1%. That was somebody right at the bottom of the chain. The chain fell through. I was 6 up the chain, and they contacted me, say, you're the only agent that's really helped us. Can you help me? And I thought, the second-time buyers, they're budgeted, I'll help them, and that obviously helped me along the line. But I think when we're talking about that journey, MailChimp, seriously recommend it. So anybody that I've had a valuation with, they go into one of my MailChimp audiences, so they get a monthly newsletter from me. All the valuations that I do, I set up digital property logbooks. And again, that really buys people into you. They're a pain in the neck to set up originally, but once you've invited people to do it, even on some of the valuations, people will then send me all their documentation for me to upload it to them. Their digital logbook's got my logo on it. So every time they go into their logbook, oh, there's me again. And I get to see how many times they go into the logbook. So all the valuations I do have a digital logbook. I set up a digital logbook for all my clients, and then I also set up the logbook for the buyers as well. So I try to bring them along on a journey. Go back to what we said yesterday, Christmas cards, birthday cards, happy house anniversary cards. So every year of completion, they get a card from me. So I guess each month I'm sending about 10, 12 birthday cards from going back all over the years. Happy anniversary cards or something new. I've just started doing over the last 2-3 years.
Gab, you're like ninja level technology there, and you do this, all this yourself.
Yeah, like I said, I think a lot was going back to that reset where I just thought, I'm not finding country anymore. I'm on my own, and I needed to make sure everything's right. And I think EXP give you that option. And I had to make sure that everything was in order. So I think I've got 23 instructions at the moment, 306,000 income pipeline, instruction pipeline. I've got 10 sales going through at the moment, and I think 113,000 income pipeline from that. So I want to build on that, but it is making sure all the other bits are in place as well.
You are the Ed Sheeran of real estate. Buzzbox going here. I've got my things going out. Our clock died, so I'm assuming that's time now. But that was a great segment into the psychology of being paid what you're worth. And we started that segment with, do you see you the way others see you? Which is an interesting point. But gentlemen, absolutely fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Well done. Don't be that person that says, well, you know, it's all right for them. They're in a nice area. You can't do it in my area. Brendan is in Kettering, or the Ketto, as I like to know it. I used to work there. It was definitely the Ketto. And Gavin's in Cambridge. So, you know, 2 contrasting markets, and one's charging 2%, one's charging 2.5%. So don't be that person that says, well, you can't do it in my area. And actually, we've talked about 2 kind of ways to double, triple, quadruple your income through revenue share and increasing your fees. Now, if you increase your fees, you can do less volume, you can spend more time doing revenue share. So start thinking about that as well. Okay, good. Time for lunch. We'll have you back at 1:30, 1:40, if that's all right. Thank you.